Hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another video of FikarNot.com. Now, FikarNot from Studies. So, today we are going to look into a civics chapter. It's the first ever civics chapter that we are going to be dealing with in this channel. I got a lot of requests for civics chapters as well after I took chemistry, bio, physics, maths, history, and all of those sorts of subjects. So now I'm here with the civics whole lesson. So we are going to do the legislature, the union, and state. Since it's ICSE, it is about India. So when we talk about the legislature, union, and states, I think the first guess that you have in your mind, it has something clearly to do with our country, and when I say our country, I mean India, of course, because it's ICSE. Of course, you're going to talk about India. So it is talking about India, and it is pretty much related to India, right? And union and states, probably the states of India, say Hyderabad, what else? Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, or cities such as Mumbai, Delhi, right? Jaipur. So it may talk about that. And if I'm talking civics, I may talk about the parliament, right? So, all your guesses are right. We're going to be talking about the parliament. So, before we start, a few key terms that we're going to be looking into are democracy, ex officio, majority, presiding officer, Rajya Sabha, ruling party, and secret ballot. And all of these are key terms which I think you all are very much aware of. Furthermore, we will be covering Parliament, legislature, executive, judiciary, and we'll be covering Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This time in the ICSE portions, 2020 to 2021 or 2021 to 2022, the power and functions of the Parliament is not included. So I'll just talk about these all these subtopics that I just told you. So to start off with, Parliament. The Indian Parliament, or Sansad as we call it, is the main fashion of the faith that Indians have in the values of democracy. That is, involvement of the people in decision making and government, of course. The parliament is a congregation of elected representatives. It makes laws and exercises political authorities on behalf of the people. It is a medium of expressing the needs of the citizens, their apprehensions and expectations. So, when I say these sentences, what do I mean? Well, clearly, the Indian Parliament that is there, it is called as the Sansad, right? It is the manifestation of the faith that Indians have in the values of democracy. That means it is why the Indians or the citizens of India believe in democracy, because India is a democratic country. And that is the involvement of people in decision making and the government. So the parliament is what keeps the faith alive in the Indians of the democracy. And also the involvement of the people in decision making at the government, because we vote, right? Because it's a democracy country, democratic country, people have to vote in order to elect any members of the Lok Sabha or Prime Minister, right? And the Parliament is a congregation of elected representatives. It makes laws and exercises political authority on behalf of the people. This means that it is a congregation of elected representatives. So the public elects these representatives, be it from state, cities, union territories, or anything like such. It makes laws and exercises in behalf of the people. So if I take a situation to the court, and it's a really very big situation, be it someone's murder, death, or anything of such sort, it always does not have to be a criminal case, right? The parliament is the one that makes these decisions on behalf of me. But is there only one, like, parliament? Do they have any subtypes? does that one parliament as a whole, without any subtypes, deal with everything happening around the whole of India? Or are there subtypes? We'll get to know. And also, Parliament is a medium of expressing the needs of the citizens, their apprehensions and expectations, of course. So, the main functions of the government are one of the important functions of a government is the formulation of laws and citizens that are expected to follow those laws. The functions of the government are carried out by three organs. So, just like we in our body have eyes to see, nose to smell, ears to hear, mouth to taste or tongue to taste, our skin to feel stuff, legs to walk, hand to pick up things or just touch things or write with a pencil or a pen. Similarly, a parliament also has three organs, what we call it as: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Or judiciary, however you pronounce it. I call it judiciary. So the legislature is the law-making organ. So it is like the boss of all. I will make the law. Executive is the one who makes sure that these laws that are executed by the legislature is implemented well throughout the public as a solution for a different problem, probably. And the judiciary is the one who makes sure that these laws are carried out. Executives may implement these laws, but who knows if these laws are with full honesty, you can say, with full honesty fulfilled. So that is where the judiciary comes in. It makes sure that these laws are carried out along with the resolution of disputes. The division and responsibilities between central and state governments is the next thing that we're going to talk about. Before that, Indian Parliament is known as a Sansad, and the Parliament is a what is the Parliament? It is a conjugation. I'm sorry. I always pronounce this word wrong. I'm extremely sorry. It's a conjugation, which basically means a group of people. So, in simple, in easier words, Parliament is a group of elected members that fulfills laws and laws in behalf of the public, right? Laws and exercises political authority on behalf of the people. It is a medium of expressing the needs of the citizens, their apprehensions and expectations. So let's repeat this. Repeat it with me without looking at your textbook or my screen. Let me move this. The parliament are a group of people that are elected. They make laws and decisions on behalf of the people. Their main motive is to fulfill the needs of the public and it is a medium of expressing the needs of the citizens, their apprehensions and expectations. Let's do this one more time, right? Because I don't think so we did it word to word, but let's do it one more time. The parliament is a group of elected representatives. It makes laws and exercises political authority. It makes laws and exercises political authority, right? Exercise the political authority is one like whole line, okay? We say it exercises the political authorities that have been made. So it makes laws and exercises the political authority on behalf of the people. It is a medium of expressing the people or the public's needs and their apprehensions and expectations. Perfect. And I think we know the functions of the government, right? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature is the one who makes laws. Executive is the one who implements the laws. And judiciary is the one if these laws are being fulfilled with full honesty, or you can say if these laws are carried out along with the resolution of disputes. Then we come to the division of responsibilities between central and state governments. So the union lists is something that the subjects on which laws can only be made by the parliament. The union list are the subjects on which laws can only be made by the parliament. These laws apply to the whole country. For example, any law related to defense, finance, foreign affairs can only be made by the parliament. That is, parliament takes care of the whole India. The state list is subjects of which laws can be only made by state legislative assemblies, meaning the people who look after states. So there is one state legislative assembly for Rajasthan, there is one state legislative assembly for Maharashtra, same for Gujarat, same for say Uttar Pradesh or any other state, okay? So it is for them. Different states can have different laws of any of these subjects. For example, land reforms, agriculture, irrigation, police, healthcare, and sanitation. So the parliament takes, higher decisions such as of defense. They take care of the foreign affairs and all of that, and the finance as well, and economy of the whole country, of course. But small decisions such as agriculture, police, that are basically in a state can be made by the state legislative assembly. Then the concurrent list is the subjects on which laws can be made by both parliament and state legislative assemblies. For example, education laws relating to factories and industries, electricity and labor. So when both parliament and state legislative assembly make laws on a particular subject which contradict each other, the law made by the parliament takes precedence over the law made by the state legislative assembly, because parliament is definitely a bigger party, right? So if both of them come into a dispute, parliament, they will only win in every situation. Okay, so the law made by the parliament takes precedence over the law made by the state legislative assembly, because they have that kind of knowledge, because they take important decisions of soldiers of our country that basically fight for our whole country. They represent our whole country, so they take place over there. Then you can say the whole economy of the company, because if the economy goes down, our company, our whole country will be nothing, right? And then of course the foreign affairs, which is also very important, because you have to keep good relations with countries and make friends with neighboring countries. That is how, when you get into a dispute by mistake or by any chance with another country, like over here in the case of you can say Pakistan, right? India has it has a kind of a dispute. So this is where the neighboring countries come to help. Neighboring countries just come into India, they can also fight against, right? And same for Pakistan as well. Fine. So this is the whole thing. So the union legislature is something that we're going to go through next. So the union legislature is also known as the parliament. Okay, so parliament, the union legislature, same thing. It is the supreme law-making body of our nation. It is the most significant symbol of our democracy. The Lok Sabha, the lower house, and the Rajya Sabha, the upper house, and the president together form the parliament. So it's almost like parliament, also known as the union legislature, is the boss of all. Okay, like we saw the legislature, right? So let's write parliament only. Parliament. So under the parliament, who comes? First one, Rajya Sabha. I'm just going to try Rajya, okay? Second one, president. And third one, which is, which is Lok Sabha. Fine? Perfect. Now let's move on to the next thing. So as you can see, okay, I just made a table and it was right here. So parliament is made up of the Lok Sabha, president, and the Rajya Sabha. It's basically what the parliament consists of. And this is what makes the parliament complete. So the Lok Sabha is also called as the lower house or house of the people, because it consists of the members who are representatives of the people. These members are elected directly by the people. That's why they're called as the lower house, because the citizens, they are the ones who elect them, right? So the composition are, each state has a fixed number of seats in the Lok Sabha depending on the state's population. These seats are called constituencies. That's what I call it, okay? Again, it's your wish how you want to pronounce it. I call it constituencies, and each constituency is a territorial area represented by a member of parliament. So what happens is, definitely each state they have a fixed number of seats, let's say 20 for each state, but it can differ depending on the state's population, because if it's less number of seats are required. If it's more number of seats are required. Makes sense? It's almost like a direct proportion, right? Direct inversion over here. And these seats are called as constituencies. And each constituency is a territorial area represented by a member of a parliament, that's MP. So the Lok Sabha can have maximum of 552 members. Out of this, 530 members are from states and 20 members are from the union territories. You know, right? Delhi, Andaman and Nicobar, all of these. And the President of India can nominate 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community if its representation is found inadequate in the House. At present, the Lok Sabha has about 545 members. So it's not necessary that all the seats are filled. There's a maximum point. So in the whole Lok Sabha that we are talking about, I just wrote, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I'll just write it again. I messed it up. I'm sorry. Okay. So there is a Lok Sabha, fine. And under this Lok Sabha, first there is about 530 members are there from states, and 20 members. Who are there? 20 members are there from union territories. So it's definitely better if you apply from states, right? And then there are 2 members that the president elects from the Anglo-Indian community. Fine. So this is the whole thing. The Britishers who stayed in India are called as Anglo-Indians, okay, if you're wondering. Now the eligibility is something how to become a member of the Lok Sabha. That means for the people, what are the eligibility that I can't just go and become a member of Lok Sabha because I am not 30 years old, right? So you have to be a certain age, you have to be a certain kind to be a member of the Lok Sabha, because we definitely want it to be right, because this is a question of our whole country. So you have to be an Indian citizen, and that is more than 25 years of age. One thing, you have to be a registered voter. You cannot be a proclaimed offender, and you must possess the qualifications prescribed by the parliament. So you have to be an Indian citizen that is more than 25 years of age first. You have to be a registered voter, not a proclaimed offender. Now when I say proclaimed offender, I mean that you should have not been imprisoned any time of your life. If you do that, that means you're like almost a criminal or a previous criminal, and you won't be allowed. Then must possess the qualifications prescribed by the parliament. Okay, and there's actually one more that I'll add on to this, which it's fine, it's just for extra knowledge. You cannot have any tax revenues and stuff, for the people who are not able to fill loans. You cannot be one of those as well. You cannot have any of these crimes or any of these or you can say any of these, any of these offenders, right? So again, without seeing this time, let's do this. Perfect. So you have to be 25 years and above, first thing. You cannot be a proclaimed offender. You have to be a registered voter, and you have to fulfill all the qualifications prescribed by the parliament. Perfect. So this is the union legislature, which over here also marked is important. Union legislature is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha has 530 members from the representatives of states, 20 members from union territories, and 2 members nominated by the president by the Anglo-Indian community. Then you can say now we have about 545 members in our Lok Sabha, fine, and Rajya Sabha, we'll come to it, so we won't read that now. And state legislature, that is legislative assembly, Vidhan Sabha, and legislative council, Vidhan Parishad. So this is important. So when I talk about state legislature, I mean there are state legislatures assemblies also, right? And there is the parliament. So when we talk about the state legislature assemblies, Under that we have Vidhan Sabha, that is MLAs, and we have Vidhan Parishad. So there is Legislative Assembly and there is Legislative Council. Legislative Assembly is called as Vidhan Sabha, and this is called as Vidhan Parishad. So Vidhan is there. One is Prabha, one is Parishad. Or again, PP also, right? So it's Legislative Assembly, Council, Vidhan Sabha, Parishad. MLAs, MLCs. Okay, perfect. Now let's look at the tenure, election procedure and the presiding officer. So the tenure is members of the Lok Sabha are elected for a period of 5 years. However, the president can dissolve the house before completion of its tenure when its ruling party loses majority. As in, the ruling party loses the majority of its members that quit the party and join another party. So the president can dissolve the house. It can completely dissolve the Lok Sabha's house if a lot of people think, hey, we're not going to win, so we're going to go and join the other party. You know that, because you know that there are two parties, right? Congress, BJP. So they can leave one party and they can join the other party, and in this case the president can dissolve the whole house, right? And on the other hand, at some times of emergencies, tenure can be extended for a year. The 5th Lok Sabha, that's 1971 to 1977, had an extended term due to an emergency that was declared in 1975. So it took place 1971 to 1978. That's 6 years ke liye, fine. So it was about for six years, yeah, because it was emergency. This is an important point. It took place from 1971 to 78. Okay, fine. And that Lok Sabha, that was the only one time that because of an emergency it had to be exceeded. Then the election procedure talks about the members of the Lok Sabha are elected directly by the people through a secret ballot. This ensures that only the voter knows for whom she or he has voted, and the level of secrecy is maintained. Every adult citizen of India who has completed 18 years of age can only vote. For a person who is 13, 17, for the people who are going to become 80 also cannot. You have to be a certain age, or else you will not be allowed to vote. That is the thing. And the candidate who secures more votes than the others becomes a member of the parliament, and elections take place every 5 years, because definitely the tenure is only of 5 years. No. Then the presiding officer, when we talk about, is about the speaker that is elected from among the members of Lok Sabha. She or he usually belongs to the ruling party, and the speaker is the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha. So this basically means that of every party, okay, let's say Lok Sabha, because we're studying about Lok Sabha only, no, now. So of every party, she or he, whoever is there in the party, it can be a she also, it can be a he also. So one speaker is elected, fine, that belongs to the ruling party, and the speaker is the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha. All members take oath in the presence of the speaker. She or he supervises the proceedings and maintains the order in the house. It's the speaker. She or he, the speaker has to act in an impartial manner. She or he can only vote in the case of a tie in the end of the debate. G.V. Mavalankar was the first speaker of the Lok Sabha, and Meera Kumar was the first woman speaker of the Lok Sabha. So these are also two important things. So Mavalankar and Meera Kumar. G.V. Mavalankar. So he or she, they supervises if everything goes, in smoothly. Everything goes smoothly, proceedings, and maintains the order in the house. And it also he or she also has to act in an impartial manner, because you cannot have partiality towards one house, right? So that is why we elect one of the speakers wisely as well. So again, G.V. Mavalankar and Meera Kumar. Now quickly, what were the two parts under the state legislature assembly? I give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, so I'll tell you the correct answer now. It was state. Yeah, so it was the legislative assembly and the legislative council. One is called as Vidhan Sabha, the other is called as Vidhan Parishad. MLA and MLC. Perfect. Now let's move on to Rajya Sabha. So the Rajya Sabha is also called as the upper house or council of states, as it represents the states at the central level. As it also is a permanent body and cannot be dissolved even by the president because it is a permanent body. How many ever people leave, it does not matter. So it does represent the states at the central level, and the composition is the Rajya Sabha can have a maximum of 250 members, while we know the other one was 552. At present, it is 245. The states and union territories elect 38 members of the Rajya Sabha, and the president nominates 12 members who are eminent people in the form of art, literature, science, sports, or social service. This maintains the creativity, and we know that we have creative and good people in the Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha is the states and the union territories, okay? They elect about 238 members, fine? And the eligibility is the criteria to be a member of the Rajya Sabha is the same, and the Lok Sabha, the only difference is the minimum age that you have to have is 30 years. In the case of Lok Sabha, it was 25 years. The tenure, as every member has a term of 6 years, and every 2 years, the tenure of 1/3 of its members ends and new members take their place. This means that every member may have a term of 6 years, but in every 2 years, okay, 2 years, the tenure of 1/3 of its members ends. Right? And new members take their place. These members are elected by the members of the state legislative assemblies. The presiding officer, the Vice President of India, is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. She or he decides. She or he is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. She or he is not a member of the Rajya Sabha but can vote in the case of a tie. So this means that the Vice President of India, okay, he is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. She or he is elected, okay, and by the members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. She or he is not a member of the Rajya Sabha but can vote in the case of a tie. Her or his duties are similar to those of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. In her or his presence, the deputy chairman presides over the meetings. Absence. The deputy chairman presides over the meetings, and the deputy chairman is chosen by the members of the Rajya Sabha. Perfect. Now let's go on to our quick revision. Dash is the supreme law-making body of our country. Easy. Parliament. The members of the Lok Sabha are elected for a period of 5 years. Dash represents the states at the central level. It's the Rajya Sabha. There are dash members in the Rajya Sabha. Well, there are 250, a maximum number of 250 members, but at the present it's 245, of which 238 members are from union and states, and 12 members are the president chooses them. 1/3 members of the Rajya Sabha retire every 2 years. The dash is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the vice president of India. Okay, perfect. We also have the match the following, which is not on this page, but I will just read it out, okay? Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Union Legislature. Option A, Parliament. Option B, House of the People. Option C, Lawmaking Organ. And option D, Council of States. So what is the Lok Sabha? Is it the Parliament? Is it the House of People? Is it the Lawmaking Organ or Council of States? Okay, we'll look at that. Then we have the... Okay, I guess I feel like you guys are feeling completely out of context. Never mind. If any of you are feeling, if you guys want to discuss it, you can discuss it in the comment section. And I think you're feeling out of context, so it's fine. We leave that question. It's fine. I'm sure you guys are ready for your exam, and you guys are ready to rock it. If you have any doubts, please post it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer it, as I always say. And thank you, and I hope you all understood everything. One thing that I did want to address is, what is the state legislature called? I keep bringing this, right? Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. MLA and MLC. Lower house is called as House of People, while Lok Sabha is called as the House of People, and the Rajya Sabha is called as the Council of States. Fine. And what is the legislature called? Well, the legislature, when we talk about the legislature, it is basically the law-making organ, and the union legislature is known as the Parliament. So with this, I also discuss the match the following. Yes, this was the match the following, which I just discussed it, and you guys did also feel out of context, right? So this was the match the following. Just to make it even more clearer for the people who have a textbook, one will match with B, two will match with. Oops, I forgot. Yeah, two will match with D, three will match with A, and four will match with C. Okay, and that's it from me to you today. See, I finished it within 30 seconds. 30 minutes, and before it becomes 31 minutes, I'll see you guys next time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you enjoy, please post any doubts, and that's how I'll know that you are curious to know more. And thank you. Bye.